Hi there, my name is Fred Carter. I'm one of the membership secretaries for UCU Edinburgh. Welcome to this video, which is going to be just an introduction to the role of the local contact and a brief outline of some of the information that you might need as a new local contact in terms of resources and aspects of the role. So over the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to run through what the role of the local contact entails, how union organising works at UCU Edinburgh, a brief outline of our structures, our working groups, our lines of communication, and then point to some further resources that you can find on our website, or otherwise embedded as links on the slides, as well as opportunities for further training. So, first of all, what is the role of the local contact? And essentially, local contacts are rank and file members of the union engaged in activism in their local school, their department or their team. And because of this, the local contact kind of historically covers a range of different activities or levels of engagement with union work. But these are just a few examples of some of the kind of main roles and responsibilities that local contacts might find themselves taking on, or might already be doing. So first of all, meeting with union members to discuss issues. I think this is a really key part of the local contact role. Talking about issues that are local to your school, or wider union activities that might be coming up, things like strikes, elections, campaigns, and events. And so linked to this, we really rely on local contacts to get the word out about wider union activities by putting up posters, distributing leaflets in workplaces, and spreading information through word of mouth. And of course, these days, this kind of activity is really largely the realm of emails and Zoom calls instead. And so, while we rely on local contacts to pass information to members, I think perhaps more importantly, we also rely on you to feed information on local issues back to the committee via a designated committee contact for each school or department. And if you don't know who that is, do get in touch with us and we'll put you in contact with that committee member. And so local contact work is also often focused around running school level meetings with members to discuss these local issues, to discuss aims for campaigning. And in the past, local contacts have also run all kinds of social events to build community in their schools. And this in the past has been anything from film nights to weekly coffee hours, craft sessions to pub quizzes, you name it. And all this activity, I think, also leads on to another really key aspect of local contact activism, which is taking part in union organising by recruiting new members, building industrial power in the union at a grassroots level. And while this maybe seems like a lot, I think all of these sort of forms or activities, these modes of activism, can be kind of helpfully broken down into three key areas. And first, being a local contact means that you're the kind of first point of contact for members in your school. And this doesn't mean that you have to be an expert on union issues or on employment law, but if you're in this role, you're likely to already be someone that your colleagues trust, someone that they come to with workplace issues. And your main role here is to direct them to union caseworkers, to representatives, other union support networks that can help them to resolve the issues that they're facing. Secondly, as a local contact, you're really a key link between committee members and the wider membership. Effectively, local contacts are the eyes and ears of the union on the ground, and doing any kind of effective union work really relies on good links between the committee and local contacts to respond to local issues and resolve them collectively. So running some kind of semi-regular meeting or social media group, we found has really kind of helped to keep in touch during the pandemic while we're not meeting on a daily basis in our kind of schools, in our breakout rooms, etc. And then finally, we really want to empower local contacts to think of themselves as organisers, activists with a active and engaged role to play in growing the union, building industrial power. This involves anything from meeting new staff members, making sure that they're aware of the work that the union is doing, to also kind of engaging with older colleagues and members, drawing them into the kind of work that the union is able to do at a school level. And it's crucial for this and for contacting members to have up-to-date lists of members in your school, to know people who maybe aren't members but might want to be. So if you don't have an updated list of members and of staff members in your school, please contact me or email the branch to get an up-to-date membership list. We're also running regular training sessions on organising skills and methods, especially focusing on recruitment, so do get in touch if you'd like to hear more about any of this kind of stuff. Grand, so I think those are the kind of basic tenets of the role of the local contact. And I'm going to move on now to talk a little bit more about our branch structure, how we organise, and where local contacts fit into this model. So generally unions are split into two types, service and organising unions. Service unions are run by elected leaders and paid staff who aren't members of the union but focus on negotiating with management on behalf of the membership. This model winds up meaning that the union is effectively an organisation that provides members with services in exchange for union dues. And on the other hand, organising unions are made of representatives from the membership who are elected to hold roles like mine as membership secretary, but we usually only work about 3 hours a week or so in this role. And this means that organising unions rely on engaged membership and activists to campaign and negotiate directly with management through direct action and forms of collective power. And as unions, organising unions sort of largely provide tools, training and resources to then empower membership to take the lead. In practice, UCU Edinburgh is technically a mix of these two models, as we have a paid administrative staff member who helps us to coordinate, but we're definitely more heavily oriented towards an organising union model. We're dependent on our members taking on committee positions, local contact roles and activist work. We're a union run by and for our own members. So the position of a union rep is a really good example of this, as all our union reps are members and often local contacts who want to give their time to do reps training in order to represent their colleagues through casework and employment disputes. This effectively is a kind of step up from being a local contact in terms of the training and the time commitment. And becoming a rep means that you have accredited qualifications through the union and you can formally represent members in disputes with the university. At a level then kind of beyond individual reps and local contacts, we also do a lot of our work through our various working groups and our subcommittees. And these are groups made up of committee members, reps, contacts, rank and file members who come together to organise around specific issues or relevant affinities. So this is a list of our current working groups, which includes equalities groups like our LGBTQ+, BAME and disabled members groups and networks, as well as those kind of focused on specific employment issues, such as the postgraduate and postdoc network or our migrant members group. And then finally we have our UCU committee, which is a body elected by the membership to represent them in disputes with management and to coordinate the union's organising and campaigning activities. At the moment, we're a large committee. You can see a few of us over on the left there celebrating our UCU Organising Award last year. And this committee kind of includes specific roles for everything from comms and sustainability to equalities and anti-casualisation. And there's a full list of roles and names on the right, which is also available on our website. So just to recap some of this and give a really brief sense of how our organising structure works, this diagram shows the committee at the top there, which is then in touch with local contacts in various schools via designated committee members. For instance, I'm the kind of bubble on the left. I'm in touch with local contacts in LOC and HISS, while someone else is the committee member for HCA over on the right there. And then in turn, each of these groups of local contacts is in regular communication with members in their schools. Information ideally flows both ways along these lines of communication. So that just about wraps up all of the information about the role of a local contact and the organising structure of the branch. So I'm just going to rattle through some key resources and links, which are all available in the slides posted alongside this video, and many of them are on our website. So firstly, for organising around issues of casualisation or answering members' questions on this, there are two really key resources to think about. The first is the written agreement, which is the outcome of a long campaign we've run over the last few years to address the conditions of casualised staff. This document is a kind of co-signed agreement between the union and management on what the conditions of casually employed staff should be. Implementing the terms of this agreement across the whole university is ongoing work, so making members aware of the agreement, quoting the terms it lays out to local management is a really key tool in tackling exploitation and casualisation. And so for precisely this reason, our anti-casualisation and postdoc officers have put together the second document here, which is a kind of cheat sheet for tutors to inform them of their rights, to empower them to defend themselves collectively against exploitation. This is what it looks like. You can find this on our website or linked in the slides below. And feel free to print off, share with colleagues, send to your postgraduate students, etc. Likewise, health and safety has become one of the most immediate issues that we've been facing during the pandemic. These are a series of resources for anyone facing pressure to undertake unsafe work. These range from general health and safety fact sheets to specific COVID safety guidelines for union members. And then finally, these are a series of equalities resources produced by UCU, including their equality toolkit, an introduction to intersectionality, and then specific information and guidance on tackling bullying and harassment, as well as the final resource there, which kind of looks at the uneven impact of the pandemic on staff with caring responsibilities, people of colour, people with disabilities, and those already working on precarious contracts. That's all for the resources then. I'll just end by pointing to some further opportunities for training, if you'd like to develop your skills and capacities as a union activist, or to get more involved. Reps 1, the first one here, is the training that you undertake to become an official union rep. That's the kind of role that I outlined above. And then health and safety rep training is a version of this that focuses particularly on health and safety issues. It kind of does what it says on the tin there. Tutor Self-Defense is a series of training events that we've been running through our postgrad postdoc network. This builds on the kind of cheat sheet I talked about, and it aims at giving precarious staff the tools that they need to protect their employment rights and organise collectively around casualisation issues. And finally then, Strike School is an international union organising project run by Jane McAlevey. This kind of focuses on building industrial strength, open bargaining processes, and organising for power under contemporary conditions that we kind of find ourselves in. And this is running twice yearly at the moment, so get in touch if you'd like to be involved in this or any of the above, and we'll make sure to set it up. That's all from this video, I think. Thanks for your time. If you're a new local contact, welcome on board.